We are currently en route to the movie theater in Bullhead, well, technically Laughlin, because our movie theater did not get the Dracula movie, the new one, and I want to go see it. So a couple of quick thoughts in regards to it. One, Caleb Landry Jones, I've only seen him in one or two things. The thing that sticks out to me was that movie Byzantium, which was also a vampire movie, and I haven't seen him in that much, so I'm very curious how he's going to do in the role of Dracula. I'm very interested to see what that's going to be like. I think, unfortunately, he has a lot to go up against, because I think when people think of Dracula, they think of the movie from the 90s with Gary Oldman. So I think he's got some big shoes to fill, I think. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I've seen a couple of clips online of this movie and it looks visually really cool. So I'm really excited for that. I think that's going to be really nice. I had a friend message me who told me that they actually liked this movie more than Nosferatu. And they say that because that was something that the friend and I had kind of bonded over, was our love of the new Nosferatu. And I mean, obviously, I think the comparisons are hard because you are dealing with two different types of vampires. You're dealing with Count Orlok in Nosferatu, which to me is very carnal, very consumption based, whereas Dracula, that is, I think, the vampire we're dealing with here, in my opinion. Dracula is more about like almost the seduction, the romance. There's a more of a willingness versus what you see in Nosferatu. So I'm excited to see how this one turns out. I'm looking forward to it. It was kind of a last minute thing to decide to go. So yeah, we're gonna go check it out. There's nobody else in the theater now. The self-serve butter station is open. I've got a ring pop. And I just got back from seeing Dracula, and it was that Dracula, A Love Tale. And I have some thoughts. The first thought being that was a really beautiful movie. I honestly, loved it. I thought it was gorgeous. I think the changes that they made, actually, for the most part, were kind of cool. You could definitely tell that this was to my knowledge, this was done by a French director. This was definitely very French feeling. I felt that aesthetically it was absolutely beautiful. And when it comes to Caleb Landry Jones as Dracula, he really surprised me. I was kind of doubting him at first. I was kind of like, you know what? I'm not sure. I don't know how he's going to be able to top Gary Oldman. Dude, his performance was beautiful. I think he showed a very different, very gentle, delicate side of Dracula. And I thought it was beautiful. I really liked how he did it. He really impressed me. I thought that the woman who played Mina, most beautiful woman I've ever seen, she was gorgeous. And the sets were beautiful. The costumes were beautiful. This was a very aestheticized movie, and I think it really worked. I liked it. The changes, I did hate that we did not get any Quincy Morris, our Texan. Where is Quincy? Where is he? I need Quincy. I'm very sad that he wasn't here. But honestly, the other changes, I actually really enjoyed. This was a cool interpretation. And I don't want to compare it to Wuthering Heights, but I know that's kind of another movie that's being talked about right now. It's pretty popular. But I think when it comes to changing things from the source material, I think that there's a right and a wrong way to do it. And I think that this version of Dracula did it in a right way. The changes that were made sense to me. I enjoyed it that way Whereas I think with Wuthering Heights, I think certain changes really didn't need to be made. But these ones in this particular movie made sense. And I really, really enjoyed it. I just had such a good time. It was just so beautiful and it was nice. Like, I want to go see it again. I really enjoyed this version. So I forgot to mention, I got a couple of Polaroids tonight. I took them in the evening, and you can definitely see this line right here where I need to clean my rollers. But I took them in the evening, and so they kind of turned out a little funky, but it was kind of a fun little experiment to try. And then I got this one. This one's not nearly that great either, but they're kind of giving like liminal vibes. So they're not my favorite, but it's always interesting to try different things with film and kind of see what you get. You guys remember that episode of Rugrats where Stu, I think that's his name, has like lost control of his life, and so in order to do that, he makes pudding to make himself feel better. So for me right now, that's what I feel. I feel like I've lost control of my life. So I'm posted outside of the Dollar General. Shout out to the Cheetos truck. And I'm going to pick up some totes and I'm going to attempt to organize my bathroom cabinet. I don't know. I just feel like really overwhelmed and overstimulated and stressed out at the world. And I don't want to be stressed out. And I don't want to be like so angry all the time. And lately, that's just what it feels like. So I am going to try to do the small things that I can control. So yeah. Again, from my bedroom floor. So kind of like what I said earlier, I just feel like really overwhelmed. Like, I don't know if it's life just kind of like getting to me. I don't know if it's the weather. I don't know what it is. But I just kind of feel like things have been like a little bit like out of control. And so I like to feel a little bit more in control. So I figured what I would do is I would clean out my bathroom cabinet. And I have a bunch of stuff that's like, it's stuff that is still good. I just have been like using different products and stuff. So figured we would kind of go through it together and I'd show you what I'm storing for now. And hopefully by the end of it, I will somehow feel better. Like, organization makes me feel better. I feel like if my space is like cluttered, then my brain is cluttered. And I don't want to feel like that. I just don't. And so I figured I would start here and then I would maybe try and get back into my creative element and see if that would help me. It's just for whatever reason, the past like, oh, excuse me, I'm trying not to sneeze. The past like week or so, just I've felt crazy and I don't really want to feel crazy. So yeah. So first thing that we're going to put in my little storage tote, courtesy of the local Dollar General, is I have an EOS lotion. I have the Fresh and Cozy one. Actually, this one isn't mine. It's my boyfriend's, and I noticed that he hasn't been using it lately. So I'm going to put it in storage until it's time for that to come back out. Next, I have a couple of Medicube serums. I have the Pink PDRN serum. Actually, this one's just about empty. This one might just go the way of the dodo instead. This one was the salmon. It was the salmon sperm stuff. So, I used it. I didn't really feel much of an effect with it. And then I had some hyaluronic acid. I actually switched to using their turmeric stuff to see if that would kind of help my acne, which it's kind of 50-50. I have PCOS, so acne is kind of just my life, even as an adult. So that's what I've been using so far. I have an old Rose Soli Notes perfume. I was going through this thing where I really wanted to smell like rose a year ago, and I liked it, but I think lately it's been it hasn't been hitting my skin the same. This one's almost full, but I might come back to it, so I'm going to hold on to it. I really want to switch it up. I want to try lilac. I got a candle from Bath & Body Works recently that smells like lilac, and I was like, ooh, I want to smell like that. So we'll see how that goes. For the next time that I'm in my red hair era, I have the Manic Panic hair color conditioner in the Rock Me Red. And then I also was using Manic Panic Vampire Red before I switched back to dark. And a long time ago, I put the Manic Panic Pillar Box Red in this big giant thing of Bumble and Bumble Seaweed shampoo. So if I go back to red, we will use that again. I'm sure I'll go back at some point I have an old deodorant, which is still good. I ended up switching to a bunch of vanilla stuff, so that's why I still have all this stuff. I also have rose oil, and also if y'all are looking for a body oil, you can get this at Smith's, or I got it online. They're cheap. They're like $3. It smells like straight up rose. It is divine. I loved it. So for the next time I decide to come back to my florals, I had this Hemp's Sweet Jasmine and Rose. I kind of forgot what it smelled like. Ooh, it smelled good. It smelled good. A lot of this stuff just got to a point where it like, you know, you get kind of sick of it. You use the same scent. I try to use the same scents like over and over again. And I was using the Rose for so long that I was like, no, let's switch it up. Let's do like vanilla. And that was fun, but I'm kind of tired of smelling like a cake. So I don't know. I feel like in order to make myself feel better, I feel like I'm trying to like change everything. And I know I shouldn't want to change like everything about my life, but sometimes I just feel like I need to do something like drastic to kind of feel okay. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to like switch my scents. Maybe that'll make me feel a little bit better. I stopped making a to-do list. I used to have a to-do list that I would do every day, and I'm still getting everything done. I'm just not following things so closely. I'm trying really, really hard to loosen up, and that is not easy as someone who is considered a high-strung person. I also got this Cake Beauty, the Gloss Boss. It was like a hair oil. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like it. When my niece comes over next, maybe I'll see if she would like it. I don't like how it like sprays out. It gets clogged. I don't know. Maybe I won't give it to her. I don't want to give her something that like doesn't really work. It is not my favorite though. Also from Cake Beauty, I had their texturizing spray. I kind of just went away from this stuff. This is another thing that was getting clogged. And I kind of want to move away from Cake Beauty. I was using them a lot, but I'm kind of getting their scent that they have for their products is like a lemony meringue cookie scent. And I don't think it reacts well with my body. Like it just doesn't, it smells okay, but it's not my favorite. So I'm trying to use up the stuff that I have with it. And then I am probably going to switch to, I have some, what do they call it? Briogeo. Also I don't wear false nails anymore, but I'm still keeping this in case I decide to go back. If you guys want to know what the best nail glue is in the world, you can get it online. It's cheap. The Nailene kind. The Nailene nail glue is the way. It is strong, it dries super quickly, and like I said, it's cheap. I think I was getting like 3 bottles for like $10, and they were lasting forever. So I'm gonna put these in storage until I decide to come back to them. And I do come back to this stuff. Like this thing of shampoo that I was talking about, the one that I put the hair dye in, I probably put the hair dye in it like 2 years ago, and I've gone back and forth with it like 3 times. So things have a way of cycling around in my world. I also have some essential oils. I had a diffuser and it kind of started giving me headaches. So I was like, you know what, we're good for now. So I'm going to set it aside, see if I can find something else to use it for. Another rose scent, the Righteous Butter from Soap and Glory. This actually smells really good. And I really like their products. So if you guys are looking for something that's kind of like rose scent, they call it their Original Pink. It smells fresh. It's like a nice fresh floral out of the shower. I like it. It's springy. And maybe that's what I need. Maybe I'm one of those people who's going through like seasonal depression and I just don't know it. I kind of thought that was hard for someone who lives in the desert where it's not really like, we're not really suffering like that. You know what I mean? I don't live in a place that snows or anything like that. And usually I try to connect with the seasons. You know what I mean? If it's spring, I like to feel really springy. If it's fall, I like to get into that energy. So I don't think it's the seasons. I think it's just me. Next, this will be going to someone. I don't know who it is yet. I've only used this like twice. But if you guys ever saw any of my old shorts where I was looking aggressively tan, it was because I wanted to get in on the BB cream thing. I was using the Airspun powder as like foundation and I actually really liked it, but then I was like, I don't want something heavy on my face anymore. So I was like, I'm gonna get a BB cream. And I didn't learn my lessons from the 2000s apparently, because I did the Maybelline Dream line and I got this. This is their lightest color. And it made me look tan as hell, and not in a flattering way. I looked washed out. It was not the way. So I still have it. I'm going to see if anybody else around me wants it, because I only used it a couple of times. I switched to one, excuse me, I switched to one that is almost pure white. I'm going to have to check the name on it. I want to say it's called Glow, but it's like pure white, and that actually seems to fit me so much better than that. A lot of times the fairest color at the drugstore just doesn't fit me. So, or maybe I'm just not looking hard enough, but I found something that seems to work. All right, so these are two new recent purchases that were not made in my smartest moment. I got this idea I was scrolling on TikTok where everything happens, and I saw people talking about their hair types, and they were like, oh, I have 2A hair. And I convinced myself that I had 2A hair. So I had like a slight wave to my hair. And maybe my hair is, but not enough. Not enough to justify what I did. I started looking up like 2A hair routines and where people were trying to like really make their waves pop and things like that. And they were using gel and hair diffusers and curl creams. And so I bought this Curly Pop by V. I found it at the store for like $5. And then this Garnier Curl Sculpt. If you will look at my hair, I had no business buying that. I had no business buying it, but for some reason I thought that I did. So yeah, I have a friend who does have curly hair. So next time I see them, I'm gonna be like, hey, do these interest you? Because this was not the way for me. I think I thought, oh, if I can make my curls pop, I'll make myself feel better. That didn't work either. You know what did help? Going to the doctor and being like, hey, I'm stressed out. And they were like, okay, we can work with that. So yeah, but I put everything in this tote. We're going to put it away for now. And now I've got a little bit more space. So I feel a little bit better. I feel a little bit more organized. I'm not so messy and like out of it. So I'm just trying to feel normal, just trying to feel normal and trying to feel less stressed out. And I think a lot of that's on me. I think I just kind of have a tendency to kind of go a little crazy for a little bit, and I need to reel myself back in. This is me trying to recognize that and trying to reel myself back in. So yeah.